Hi there, I'm Miss Laura with the Wichita Falls Arts Council, and today we're going to do a project about microbes, or microorganisms, which are little super tiny creatures that are too small to see without the aid of a microscope, or a laboratory tool that scientists or science enthusiasts use to magnify or make things appear larger than they are. Here's someone looking into a microscope through this tube here, and it's magnifying her little specimen. So we're going to be creating our own specimen of microbes. And this is what this person might be looking at when they look through that tube. Super tiny things that we couldn't see without this tool. These are images from an electron microscope. And this is a stock image of tiny, tiny microorganisms that exist, but again, can only be seen through a microscope. And there's a bunch of different patterns and colors and shapes. And so we're going to be imagining our own microbes to create today's project with construction paper. So here is a finished project where I've created the view as if someone were to look into a microscope through a tube. You have a circle with all of these imagined microbes cut from paper. And I have a few different kinds on here. I have these orange little spiky creatures. I have these also spiky green pickle looking things, some pink pill type organism, and also these blue circular, almost blueberry like organisms. And here's one that follows the exact same formula. I have several different types of repeating creature. I have these orange sparkly bean things, these pink things that kind of look like cats, some more of those blueberry type organisms, as well as these sort of pill strands, but in green. And notice that all of the shapes are the same color, or they all fit into categories. I have 3 different types of organism on this slide. So I have these pink sea urchin type creatures, these green worm snake type things, and all of these unicorn bean things are purple with yellow horns. Okay, some donuts, some minimalist butterflies, and some more of those pill snakes. So we're each going to try to think of at least 3 different designs of imagined microbes that we're going to create with colored paper. So I need a few things to do this project today. I have a pencil, I have a glue stick, I also have a pair of scissors, and I have a bunch of paper here. I have a black sheet of paper for my background. I have a gray sheet of paper, and I also have 3 half sheets of different colored paper. Or I could also just reach into my scrap bin and use scrap. Okay. The first thing we need to do is to create a gray circle out of our gray sheet of paper. And we can do this with either the printed circle template, or if you have a large object, I have part of a food processor here, you can just trace a circle right onto your gray paper with a pencil and cut that out. But if you do not have a large circular object, you can use the circle template, which I will do right now. So I'm going to take my scissors and my circle template, and I'm going to very loosely cut out my circle from my circle template. And I'm going to cut outside of the line, just so I can cut a little more quickly I'm not too focused on cutting exactly on the line. I have my circle loosely cut out. Clearly see that line. I'm going to grab my gray sheet of paper and my glue stick. And I'm going to glue this loosely cut out circle onto my gray sheet of paper. And I'm going to apply glue to the back because I still want to be able to see this line when everything's glued. I'm going to apply glue to pretty much the whole thing, but mostly this outer perimeter here, this outer edge. A few bits to the center. And I'm going to stick the circle onto my gray sheet of paper. And I'm placing my circle near this corner here. That way I'm not wasting paper. I can still use this for another project later by placing the circle in the corner. I'll glue it up. I'm going to find my scissors again. There. And now that my circle is glued to my gray paper, I'm going to actually cut on this line now. Cutting directly on the line, and I'm going to cut as close to the line as I can. So I'm cutting a little more carefully. So now when I flip this over, I have a perfectly cut out gray circle. And this is where all the action is going to happen. All of my microbes are going to be living on and within this gray circle. So now I have to design, draw, and cut out some of my imagined microbes. So I'm going to think of at least 3 different shapes. I'm going to use this scrap here for my circle template and a pencil. And I'm going to try to come up with 3 relatively simple shapes to create my microbes out of. And I'm going to probably repeat some of the things I've done. I really like those pill strands, so I'm going to do, here's design 1, little pill worms. Okay. Design number 2, I'm going to do some of those sea urchin things. So you can choose to do very simple shapes, like little blobs or pill worms, or you can make them look like normal size things, like on this one where I did little cat head type creatures. Okay, my 3rd organism, I'm going to do little blueberry type things. Okay, so these are my 3 designs. I can go back and add more later, but I need at least 3, and I want to make at least 6 of each organism, just so there's enough stuff going on within my gray circle. So I'm going to designate 1 creature per sheet of paper, or per color. Okay, so it looks like I'm going to be doing all of my little blueberry type things on this green paper, all of my little sea urchin things on this pink paper, and all of my pill worm things on this paper. So I'm going to start drawing. I know I'm doing all these little pill shapes on yellow. So I'll draw a bunch of pill shapes to cut out. And I'll also draw a bunch of this shape, these little sea urchin type things. And I want them to look close to the same. They can vary in size. Make some little ones, maybe a large one. And now going on to my third design. Okay. And now I just need to cut these shapes out. And when we're doing a lot of repeating shapes like this, it does save a lot of time to double up your paper or fold it in half and then cut out 2 shapes at once. So I'm going to do that just to save myself a little bit of time. So at this point, I've cut out a few more than 6 of at least 3 different types of microbe. Okay. And I've organized them into little piles. And now I'm ready to glue my microbes on to my gray circle. And I'm going to start by gluing all of the ones I have cut out on. And if I feel like my composition is a little too sparse, if there's not enough going on, I could always go back and cut more, or even add a different design of creature. So I'm going to start by picking any one of my shapes. I'm going to apply a little bit of glue, and I'm going to glue it to my gray circle. And then I'll take another shape, a different shape, apply a little bit of glue, and glue it down. And I want to make sure that some of my little microbes overlap, like they're sitting on top of each other a little bit. And I even want to make, or I also want to make sure that some of them go beyond the edge of my circle. So I'm going to glue this one so that it sits off of the edge. A little bit of it goes over the edge. And when it goes over the edge, I can grab my scissors and just clip off that excess, cut off that excess. And now it looks like I have an organism that's sort of just creeping into my circle view. I'm just going to keep adding them one by one. These pill snake things, I'm going to make it look like their ends are attached. Just traveling over this pink creature. I'm going to continue gluing until all of my shapes have been glued down to my gray circle. Oh, I think I lost one. Okay. have everything glued down. I'm gonna go ahead and trim the edges. Any little microbe that is peeking out and past my gray circle. Yep. At this point, when I feel like I have enough microbes existing onto my little sample here, I'm going to locate my black sheet of paper from the very beginning and bring that back. I'm going to apply glue to the entire backside of my circle, and then let's just do that right now. Get glue on this entire thing. Uh-oh. Then very carefully place my circle onto the very center using my eyeballs. That looks close enough. Flipping it over, rubbing the back to make sure everything is really stuck together and that I don't have a project that falls apart later. And then I am done.